The room shimmered with cold blue light reflecting off the ancient walls of the vault. High above, crystal threads hung like frozen stars, humming faintly with power that no one fully understood. The air was heavy with age, like breathing in. Dust and echoes of forgotten time. Linari stood near the center of the chamber, her silver blue skin glowing softly under the artifact's light. She looked proud, a little smug even, with her arms crossed and her head tilted to the side as if waiting for a joke to land. Beside her stood the human Justin Holla. Tall, quiet, with brown hair always a little messy and eyes that never missed a detail. "You really think it will even respond to you?" Linari said, a playful tone in her voice. "This armor rejected seasoned warriors of the Tormek, burned the hands of my own brother when he dared to touch it." Justin smiled, but it didn't reach. His eyes, he didn't know why he had agreed to this. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe it was the silent pressure that always followed him since he arrived in the Galactic Union as humanity's first official envoy. Or maybe it was the dream he'd had the night before. The dream of a voice calling his name. A voice made of stars. The armor stood on a platform, shaped like a being ready to move, arms out, palms open, chest plate shaped like a heart pierced by light. It wasn't metal. It wasn't cloth. It looked like both and neither. It pulsed faintly, like it had a heartbeat of its own. The high scholars called it Ziz Atal, which meant guardian soul in the old tongue. It had belonged to the founder of Linari's people, a mythical warrior said to be half god, half light. "Just touch it and it'll probably reject you like everyone else," Linari said with a smirk. "I just want to see the look on your face." Justin stepped forward. He didn't say anything. He didn't make a joke. His hands moved slowly, fingers brushing the edge of the ancient gauntlet. His skin tingled. There was a sudden sharp flash behind his eyes. A sound like wind rushing through. Metal. And then silence. The room stopped breathing. Linari's smirk dropped. The armor moved out slowly, almost gently. Pieces of it lifted off the stand and hovered in the air around Justin. Not in anger, not in defense, but like a reunion. Like a welcome. A soft light began to glow from the chest plate. It moved toward him, as if guided by thought, and without a sound. It clicked into place over Justin's chest. His breath caught. Heat spread through his veins, not burning, but warm. It was like the sun rising inside him. He could feel everything. The walls of the chamber, Linari's heartbeat, the sadness in the crystal above. Something deep and old whispered inside his mind, "We have waited so long for you." "What the?" Linari stepped back, her voice shaky now. It never did that before." Justin looked down. The armor was now fully wrapped around him, piece by piece. Not heavy, not cold. Like it had always been his. A ripple of silence passed through the chamber. The scholars watching from above were frozen. A drone dropped its recorder in shock. Even the walls hummed louder, as if the vault itself was waking up. How is this possible? Someone whispered. Linari didn't speak. Her eyes were wide now, confused, afraid. Awed. Justin looked at her and asked quietly, "What does it mean?" She didn't answer, but her expression said it all. This wasn't just a joke anymore. He had changed something ancient. He had awakened something. Now the galaxy would feel it. Ending line. He wore the armor like it was part of him, and the galaxy had just found its new legend. The armor did not speak with words. It spoke through feeling. As Justin stood in the middle of the vault, wrapped in glowing fragments of the Zizatel, he felt like the universe had turned inward. Every sound echoed in his chest. Every breath from the crowd watching him felt like a wind pressing against his skin. Yet in the center of all this, there was peace. Deep, still, ancient peace. And a quiet voice. Not in his ears, but in the back of his mind, whispering like a breeze through trees. You are the first who listens. You are not born of us, yet you are chosen. Justin blinked. Who are you? He whispered aloud, unsure if he was going mad. Linar. Stepped forward slowly, hesitant now. She no longer held that mocking grin. Her long white hair shimmered with static, and there was confusion, fear, even in her bright purple eyes. Justin, are you hearing something? She asked quietly. He looked at her, eyes searching. Yes, he said. Something is inside. It knows me. Or it thinks it does. That's not possible, Linari whispered. No one has ever bonded with Aziz at all. Not truly. It's sacred. It should have rejected you. Like it did. All the others. His voice was steady now, more than it had been. But it didn't. Above them, High Scholar Valtesh descended from the upper tier, his long cloak of starlight trailing behind him. His face was etched with thousands of years of knowledge, but today it was pale with disbelief. Human, Valtesh said slowly. You must remove it. Now? The armor is not meant for your kind. You don't understand what it is. I don't think I can, Justin replied. He raised his hand, no longer bare, now covered in shimmering plates that pulsed with blue lines of energy. It's part of me now. Linari looked between the two, and for the first time in her life, she didn't know who to stand beside. Her, people's relic, had accepted an outsider. And it felt right, even though her mind said it shouldn't. Justin turned his gaze back toward the platform. Strange carvings had begun to glow across the vault's floor, symbols that had not lit in over 10,000 years. They pulsed in rhythm with his heartbeat. Or maybe it was the armor's. He is not the one they expected. The voice in his mind whispered again, but he is the one they need. The room trembled. Suddenly, a powerful blast of force erupted from the armor, shooting outward in a ring of energy. Scholars fell. Drones shattered. The vault groaned like it would collapse, but nothing collapsed. Instead, a hidden doorway in the back wall, a section sealed for over 5 millennia, cracked open. Soft mist rolled out. The air that poured through felt different, older, heavier. Val single quotes Tesh fell to one knee. This cannot be. Double, he whispered. That chamber is the tomb of Torshuveth, the first soulbinder. No one has been able to enter since the Purge Wars. Not even our best technoscribes. Linari's voice was shaking. What does this mean? Justin stared at the doorway. The mist curled around his feet like it recognized him. I think it means I was supposed to come here, he said. Val single quotes Tesh looked up sharply. You think this is fate? Justin shook his head slowly. No. Not fate. Invitation. Linari whispered, almost too softly to hear. But you're not even one of us. Justin finally looked at her. Maybe that's why it worked. For a long moment, the vault was silent. Even the armor pulsed more gently now, like it was waiting. Justin stepped forward. One step into the mist. Then another. No one stopped him. No one could. As he crossed into the forgotten chamber, the air shifted. Visions flickered at the edges of his sight. Great wars fought in skies lit by stars. Ancient figures wearing the armor like gods of fire and light, but something darker too. Something watching from deep space. Waiting. The voice returned, clearer now. You are the echo of what was lost. You carry the seed of something they tried to erase. Walk forward and remember who you are. Justin stopped. Remember who I am? He whispered. But he didn't remember. Not yet. Behind him, Linari called out. Justin, if you go in there, you may not come back the same. He turned his head slightly, smiling just a little. Maybe that's the point. Ending line. He stepped into the tomb, not as a guest, but as the one it had been waiting for all along. The tomb of Torshevith was unlike anything Justin had ever seen. As he moved deeper inside, guided only by the soft glow of the armor on his body, the air became thick with silence. Not empty silence, but the kind that was watching. Old, alert, sacred. Even his footsteps were muffled, swallowed by the floor of dark glass and etched crystal. Walls stretched high, covered in ancient symbols that twisted as he passed, reshaping themselves. They were not just writing. They were living memories, carved in light and time. They told a story one the galaxy had forgotten. The armor pulsed again, brighter. And before Justin could react, the walls came alive, scenes formed around him. Like holograms made from stars and fog. He saw a planet covered in green flame. Not destroyed, but purified. He saw an army of tall beings wrapped in the same armor he now wore. They stood against monstrous shadows, creatures made of void and hunger. He saw the moment a human hand reached out to one of them. Not in war, but in peace. And the first alliance was born. His breath caught. This happened before? He whispered. Yes. The voice answered inside him. Long before your kind was cast out of the stars. Before they erased your names from the records. Before they feared what you could become. The voice was not angry. It was tired, patient, full of a deep, ancient sadness. Justin stepped forward, past a frozen image of a human standing beside a Xeon warrior. They were smiling. Brothers in battle, equals. Then the image shifted again. He saw betrayal, fear, the breaking of the alliance. And then, silence. A dark shape began to form on the far wall. It was massive, horned. Its eyes burned like suns collapsing in reverse. That is what we were made to fight, the voice said. But when they turned against each other, when they feared humanity's spark, they buried the truth and sealed the armor away. So why me? Justin asked. Why now? Because you still carry what they lost. Because you choose peace over power. Because you did not reach for the armor to conquer. You reached with respect. Justin felt his heart tighten. He remembered his first days in the Galactic Union, how he, Jevu, was looked down upon, how his people were called primitives, how they were laughed at for arriving in ships made of steel and code, not living metal or graviton crystals. But he had smiled through it all, listened, watched, learned. He had never tried to act superior. He had endured. I didn't come here to fight a war, Justin said softly, but war may come to you. The voice replied. Outside the tomb, Linari stood at the threshold, still unable to step in. The mist pushed gently against her, as if it sensed her doubt. She watched Justin's silhouette vanish into the glowing depths, and a strange feeling pulled at her heart. Not fear, not jealousy. Something else. He had worn the armor for only moments, and already the ancient halls responded to him like a long-lost friend. She whispered to herself, why him? Valtesh stood behind her now, his hands clasped. Perhaps because the armor remembers, and we do not. Back in the heart of the tomb, Justin reached a raised platform. At its center was a floating crystal, dark, dormant. The armor hummed louder. The voice said one word, touch. He did. The crystal lit up with a sudden flash, and the world vanished. He was no longer standing. He was floating inside a vast memory. Stars moved around him. Planets formed and died. And in the center of it all was Earth. Not the Earth of now, but the Earth of long ago. Golden skies, cities that touched the clouds, and people who spoke to stars. He saw himself, or someone like him. A soldier, a leader, wearing the armor, leading both human and alien alike against the darkness. That's not me, Justin said. I've never done that. Not yet, the voice replied. The vision faded. He fell back to the floor of the tomb, gasping. Everything was silent again, but now he understood. The armor had not chosen him by mistake, it had recognized him or something inside him. Something old, something buried deep in human blood and memory. He stood slowly. And as he did, the tomb responded. Symbols on the floor lit one by one. A circle of light formed beneath him. A soft voice echoed through the room, not in his mind. This time, but aloud. Command accepted. Soulbinder returned. Linari heard it from outside. Her heart skipped. Justin stepped back into the doorway, eyes glowing faintly with the same blue light of the armor. He looked changed, calmer, stronger, but not darker. Not cruel. I know what it is now, he said. Linar. I stepped back. And, what are you now? He didn't answer right away, but behind him, the crystal dimmed again and the tomb closed. Itself with a low hum, like a heartbeat slowing down. I think I'm something the galaxy tried to forget, Justin said. But it's time they remembered. The great council chamber of Cytherian Prime was built to make beings feel small. Its ceiling stretched so high that clouds sometimes formed near the top. 12 thrones floated in a perfect circle, one for each ruling species of the Galactic Union. And in the center lower, on purpose, stood the floor where outsiders were called to explain themselves. Justin stood there now. The armor, though dimmed, was still on him. Not in battle mode, but like a second skin. Protective, calm, respectful. Behind him stood Linari, silent but watchful. She had not left his side since the tomb. Not because she trusted him, not fully, but because something in her heart no longer wanted to see him stand alone. Above them, the council thrones flickered to life. Ancient beings appeared, some with faces made of stone and flame, others with eyes like glass oceans or wings of thought. Their languages overlapped, translated instantly by the universal weave. And all their voices carried power. State your name and species, one demanded. Justin Hall, he answered, human. Born of Earth. A silence followed. That word, human, still felt like an insult to some of them. You entered the sealed vault of the Zeon relic without approval, another said. You activated a forbidden artifact and awakened a tomb we sealed for a reason, another added coldly. Justin didn't raise his voice. I didn't force it to open. The armor chose me. A ripple of whispers buzzed through the council. One of the elder thrones, a figure made entirely of living vines and glowing flowers, leaned forward. The armor has rejected thousands, even the chosen bloodlines of Zaya, and yet it accepted you, a human? Justin nodded. I don't know why, not completely, but I saw things inside the tomb. Memories, wars, peace, betrayal, and something worse coming. The being shaped from shadow and bone hissed. Do not speak of old wars as if you understand them, Earthborn. You were not there. No, Justin said, steady. But maybe that's why I was chosen. I don't carry the hatred. Linari stepped forward then, surprising even herself. He's not lying. I was there. The tomb responded to him. The armor did not hurt him. It welcomed him. Valtesh appeared beside her through a gate of light. The council grew even more silent at his arrival. High Scholar, one throne said with narrowed eyes. Do you defend this outsider? Valtesh bowed, then lifted his head. I defend only the truth. And the truth is this. The Z's Atal has chosen a human after 10,000 years of silence. And the tomb has awoken a memory we chose to bury. The throne of flame growled. That memory brought war. No, Valtesh said gently. We brought war. When we silenced the humans. When we feared their strength instead of guiding it. The room trembled faintly, not from sound. From emotion. One throne spoke again. What do you claim, Justin Hawley? That you are some kind of Reborn Soulbinder? Justin looked around. The chamber. He could feel the armor inside him still humming, aware. Not proud, not aggressive, simply ready. Always ready. I don't claim anything, he said. But something inside that tomb remembered me, and something inside me remembered it. Linari whispered, "Tell them what you saw." Justin hesitated. Ben spoke. "I saw a war that's coming. Shadows moving between stars. The same darkness your ancestors fought, and lost to. They're not gone, they're waiting. And we're not ready." Gasps. Denials. Flashes of alarm from several thrones. "You speak of the Voidkin," one hissed. "They were destroyed." Another barked. "Were they?" Justin asked. "Or did we just stop looking?" The room fell quiet again. Valtesh stepped forward. "If the armor has reawakened, it may mean the Voidkin have begun to stir again. The prophecy written in the tomb was never broken, only ignored. You want us to trust him?" A throne snapped. "A human?" "Maybe you should," Linari said sharply, "because none of you were chosen." Her voice echoed. Justin looked at her, surprised. She didn't look back. The council murmured in anger and disbelief. Accusations were thrown. Demands for containment. For stripping the armor. For exile. Then the chamber lights dimmed suddenly. Every being in the room felt it tremble through the fabric of space. A single alarm echoed through Cytherian Prime's defense grid. Unregistered vessel emerging from deep slip space. Near. The core system, it's not responding to hails. Justin's armor lit up instantly. Blue light surged from his chest. "They are here." The voice whispered. Valtesh's eyes widened. "It's too soon," he said. Linri single quotes. His voice was soft. "Or maybe we're already late." Justin raised his head. And for the first time, he didn't feel out of place. He felt called. He stepped forward and faced the council. "You wanted to know what I am?" he said. He clenched his fists as the armor sealed fully around him, glowing like a forgotten star. "I'm the warning you ignored, and the weapon you buried." The sky above Cytherian Prime darkened, not with night, but with fear. From orbit, the strange vessel hung in silence. It was enormous, shaped like a jagged crescent, its surface shifting like flowing smoke over obsidian glass. No energy signatures. No life signals. No known species match. But the alarm screamed all the same. In the council chamber, chaos broke through old tradition. Shields to maximum. Scramble every interceptor squad. Redirect the sun lens arrays. Justin stood in the center, calm as the storm built around him. His armor pulsed with quiet blue light, as if it knew what was coming long before the rest of them did. Linari moved to his side. "That ship? I've never seen anything like it." He didn't look away from the sky screen. "I have." "In the visions," Valtesh stepped forward. "It matches no technology in our archives." Justin shook his head. "It's not in your records because your ancestors buried the proof." The screen changed. A beam of light descended from the ship. No weapon fire. Just light. The ground under Cytherian trembled. People screamed. Towers shook. Animals across. The planet cried out in panic. And across the Union's connected systems, communications began to break down. Slowly, surgically. "They are not here to fight," the voice in the armor whispered. "They are here to erase." Justin turned sharply. "We need to get off this world. They're not here to conquer. They want to silence everything. Like before, leave Cytherian?" Linari asked. "We can't abandon the council." Valtesh interrupted. "He's right. The relic's memory holds the only defense. We must reach the forge world of Shirin. It was the last known facility used by the Soulbinders. If anything still exists to resist the Voidkin, it is there." The thrones above were in disarray. The council no longer argued with Justin. They feared him less than what now approached. Portal platform activated behind them. Valtesh is doing. He turned to Justin. You must protect the knowledge. All of it. If you fall, the galaxy forgets what it once knew. Justin hesitated. What about you? I will hold the gate until you're through, the old scholar said. And then I will pray. Linari grabbed Justin's wrist. Don't leave without me. His eyes locked with hers. You still trust me? No, she said. But I believe the armor does. They stepped through the gate. In a flash of blinding light, they were gone. The forge world of Chiron was once thought dead, a planet of metal and ash lost after the Purge Wars. Its atmosphere cracked, its cities shattered. But when Justin stepped onto its surface, the armor glowed brighter than ever. The wind howled with dust, but beneath it, the land sang. The song was low, broken, but real. Linar, I looked around at the ruins. Why here? Justin walked forward, guided by something older than thought. Because this is where they made the first ones, he said. He stepped over a fallen spire and found a round platform sunken into the earth, covered in broken runes. His hand moved over them. The runes lit up. The platform activated. The forge groaned as its heart came alive again for the first time in over 10,000 years. Massive stone doors opened, revealing a chamber that descended deep into the world. Linari single quotes S voice cracked. This place, it's still alive. Justin nodded slowly. So are they. Who? She asked. He looked down into the darkness. The ones who remember. Beneath the forge, they found a vault. Sealed in light and time. Within it were rows of ancient armor shaped like his, but dull, asleep. Beside them stood giant memory pillars and broken weapons still humming with residual energy. The air was filled with echoes. Of voices, of battle, of loss. The voice in his armor said softly, this was the last stand. They knew they would not win. So they buried the memory here, waiting for someone who still carried the flame. Justin stood before the main console. His hand hovered. Linar, I grabbed his arm. If you do this, you could wake up a war none of us can finish. His voice was steady. We're already in it. He placed his hand down. Everything turned white. Vision surged again. 1,000 soulbinders. Across galaxies, standing tall in the final light, one by one. Their armor shattered. Not from weapons. But from hopelessness. And then blackness. Until now. Justin opened his eyes. The vault was no longer silent. The other suits of armor were. Glowing. Rising. Not as weapons. But as guardians. Linari single quotes as voice shook. They're responding to you. Justin stepped back. His chest plate opened slightly. A sliver of light moved outward, split, and entered. The nearest armor. Then another. Then another. Linar, I gasped. You're waking them. Justin closed his eyes. No, he said. They're waking themselves. The forge breathed. Slowly, deeply, like a great beast awakening from an endless sleep. Dust fell from the walls. Broken machines sparked to life. Long dead lights blinked in recognition. In the center chamber, the armor shell, silent for ages now, floated weightless, pulsing with soft light. They were no longer relics. They were remembering. Justin stood at the heart of it all, his chest plate still glowing, threads of light weaving from his armor into each empty shell. He could feel them waking, not with pain, not with confusion, but with relief, as if they had waited patiently for this very moment. For him. Linar, I watched in silence. This wasn't a human claiming power. This was a soul connecting to forgotten echoes. This is impossible, she whispered. Justin didn't answer. His eyes were closed, and behind them, memories flowed. Not his, not fully. but echoes of others, those who had worn the armor before, those who had fallen, those who had loved, lost, and still chosen to protect. He saw one soulbinder throw herself into a star to stop a void rift. He saw another kneel before a dying child, taking his hand as the last city fell. He saw the first one, the founder, the one called Torshevith, stand alone against a black fleet that devoured moons. They were not gods, they were people. But they had stood for something greater. They remember you, the voice whispered inside him, and now they trust you. Linari stepped closer. What are they going to do? Justin opened his eyes. Follow. The armor shells moved. Some floated. Some walked. Some still flickered with fading damage from ancient battles. But they all gathered around Justin in a perfect circle, and one by one they knelt. Linar gasped. They're kneeling to you. Justin shook his head. No, not to me. To what I carry. He looked at her. Hope. A tremor rolled through the forge. A deep dark vibration from far above. From orbit. Linar I tapped her wrist device. A shaky voice came through. Cytherian is gone. She froze. What? The Voidkin vessel fired one beam. The whole city vanished. There's nothing left, not even light. Val single quotes tesh. Gone. The council. Gone. The chamber shook again. They're coming here next. Linari whispered. Justin turned toward the vault door. He didn't speak. He simply knew what had to be done. He stepped onto the command circle again. The armor responded with a deep chime. A note of memory and fire. A large round platform opened in the ceiling above, revealing a massive object buried under collapsed steel and ash. A warship, but not a modern one. Not Zeon. Not Union. This one was built by the Soul-Binders. Justin stared at it in awe. It was sleek but ancient, lined with crystal veins and pulse conduits. Its hull shimmered with the same light as his armor. Linar I single quotes S breath caught. I thought the last binder ship was destroyed? Justin stepped closer. It wasn't destroyed. It was hidden. The voice in the armor spoke louder now, like a whisper from the bones of the ship itself. She was called the Ark of Silence. She was built for one thing: resistance. Ship responded to Justin's presence. Runes across the hull lit up in a perfect sequence. Engines rumbled. Weapons folded open, like wings stretching after a long rest. The Guardians, those in the awakened armor, moved without words, boarding the ship, taking stations. They were few, less than 30. But together they felt unstoppable. Justin placed his hand on the ship's command core. It pulsed under his touch. His voice was low. I won't let them erase us again. Linari looked at him. And if you fall? He turned, a faint smile on his lips. Then someone else will rise. That's what the armor remembers. The ship rose through the forge's collapsing roof, engines roaring. Clouds parted. The stars above shimmered with the oncoming shadow of the Voidkin. Vessel. Linar I took her place beside him on the bridge. You don't have to face this alone, she said. He looked at her. I never was alone, he said. Not really. And in that moment, the Ark of Silence lit up in full. Its systems online. Its weapons ready, and its soul awakened. Justin gave a single command. Take us to them. Space bent around them. The Ark of Silence cut through the stars like a blade of light from a forgotten age. Its surface shimmered with pulsing blue veins, and its hull echoed the heartbeat of every soulbinder now awake within it. They were few, but they carried 10,000 years of purpose. At the center of it all stood Justin Hulla. A human. Once mocked. Once dismissed. Now armored in living memory. Standing at the helm of the last soulbinder warship. On the edge of the B system, the Voidkin vessel waited. It was massive, far larger than the Ark. Its hull absorbed light. It gave off no signal, no sound, only a low hum, like the sound of fear crawling through bone. It did not fire. It did not move. It simply existed. Like a sickness waiting to spread. Linar, I stared through the viewing deck. It's like it doesn't even care that we're coming. It doesn't, Justin replied calmly. They don't see us as a threat. Good, she said, tightening her grip on the console. Let's prove them wrong. As the Ark approached, the Voidkin ship finally reacted. Its hull cracked open. Hundreds of tendrils unfurled, each one tipped with Void Crawler's shadow things made of teeth and thought. They swarmed forward like a storm, uncountable, unstoppable. Justin didn't flinch. The armor over his chest burned brighter. The voice within whispered one final time, "You are the last light. Now shine." He raised his hand. Across the bridge, the Soulbinders responded instantly. Beams of ancient energy fired from the Ark's core. Not bullets. Not plasma. Memory. Each blast struck with the weight of worlds, the sorrow of fallen guardians, the strength of peace once defended. Void crawlers dissolved. Screamed. Faded. But they kept coming. The Ark shook under the pressure. Systems flared. One binder was thrown from their station. Another took their place without hesitation. Linari called out, "We can't hold this forever." Justin stepped forward. "We don't have to. Just long enough." He closed his eyes and reached deeper into the armor. Deeper than ever before, he let go. His thoughts dissolved, and in that stillness, the armor gave him everything. He saw the void not as a shadow but as a wound, a place where hope had died long ago. He saw how the first Soulbinders tried to seal it, not with power but with sacrifice. They failed. But they left behind a spark. He opened his eyes, walked to the heart of the ship, placed his hand on the final seal, the command no one had used in 10,000 years. Open the core. The ship's systems protested. Linari, single quotes, S eyes widened. "No, if you do that, you'll. I know." He turned to her. Smiled. Double quotes, this ship was never just a weapon. It's a reminder. And reminders don't whisper. They burn. A brilliant light exploded from the center of the Ark. Every Soulbinder stood still. They understood. This was not suicide. This was memory unleashed. The Ark surged forward, right into the heart of the Voidkin ship. They collided. Not in destruction but in revelation. Light met darkness. And the galaxy held its breath. No one knows exactly what happened next. The Voidkin ship vanished. So did the Ark. Not destroyed. Gone. Like a story told too loudly for shadows to survive. But then, across the galaxy, something changed. Forgotten planets lit up with old signals. Ancient ruins woke with light, and humans once called backward, once ignored, were no longer seen as less. They were seen as keepers. Keepers of fire. Keepers of sacrifice. Keepers of what the stars almost forgot. Linari returned home months later. She carried a shard of the Ark's core in her hands. No one could touch it but her. No one could hear its hum. Except in quiet moments, when it whispered one name. Justin. And every time she heard it, she smiled. Because now she believed, not just in what he was, but in what he had become. A soul binder. A guardian. A reminder that even when the galaxy forgets, humanity remembers.